Hey, you're listening to IMO, in my opinion, and today is going to be a little different. John's not here today. I have a special guest that I had an interview with. His name is Loredan Krug. He is a acting teacher. He was actually my first teacher when I started acting. I invited him over to have a little conversation and, just shoot the breeze about acting and, what's going on in that world and how he got started and all that. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. So what's going on, Lord man? How you doing?
Doing good. Thank you for having me on the show.
No
This is
problem,
very
man.
exciting.
This is it's exciting for me. It's my first. You're my first guest, so
I'm the first official guest.
yes, you are.
Yeah.
So you have the honor of being the first guest on IMO.
IMO, in my opinion.
That it is. That it is. So what'd you do today, man?
What I do today?
Yep.
Well, I woke up, stretched.
You stretch?
I did. I had a very nice stretch. Walked around the condo for about 3 hours, muttering to myself. And
Typical lockdown day.
typical, yep, lockdown behavior. And then just took care of a lot of boring adult stuff, finances and trying to get insurance now and all that nonsense. But
Isn't that just the typical adult life, man? Paying bills and stuff like that.
yeah, it is. But
Sucks, right?
yeah,
Why can't we just go back to being kids
I miss those days.
and have people do it for us?
Jesus Christ. Speaking of which, yeah, being an adult sucks. I remember it hitting me like about, I think 3 or 4 months ago. I was watching an improv show that my buddy was in, and I was walking home, and I'm thinking, Jesus Christ. Okay, now I'm divorced. Okay, now I have my own place. Now I gotta take care of everything. Like Jesus, I'm going through a lot of adult stuff. I was trying to feel like an old man. Divorce, bills,
So for people
payments.
listening to us right now, Lorden is he's an actor. He was my first teacher when I embarked on this challenge of acting.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very good teacher, a very talented individual. Signed with BMG, right?
BMG. Yep.
Cool. How's that going for you? How's that work going?
I mean, they're fantastic. They really take care of their clients. But with this whole situation now, most of the auditions are going to be voiceovers and certain self submissions. So
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing, like a bunch of self tapes and stuff like that.
yeah, it's a little slow now, but due to the situation, it's slow everywhere. So, but
Yeah, but movies are never gonna go anywhere, so
no,
shows all that stuff will come back eventually.
it will. Once this whole thing moves on, but yeah.
So, how'd you get into acting?
Whoa.
Big question, big time.
Good question.
We get right to the point here.
I was in 8th grade, and my dad took me to see a Second City show. Usually what he would do is he would take his clients out for, either like baseball games, sporting events, or whatever. And one of his clients really enjoyed Second City. For some reason that day they couldn't make it, so he took me and my godfather with. And I saw a Second City show on the main stage. It was called Second City 4.0. And for anybody who's like an improv nerd, or anybody who's like really into the whole improv community, it had some of the strongest players to date. One was, of course, TJ Jagodowski, fantastic improviser. Susan Messing, just yeah. Make sure I had it right. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get the names right.
Just want to make sure I didn't say the other actor like Susan Sarandon, but yeah, no, Susan Messing, and she was fantastic. Rich Tellerico, and the cast was so strong, and I remember just right from the opener, I couldn't stop laughing my ass off.
Really?
And it was like a 2.5 hour show. They do like a 2 hour set and then an improv set, and I was just blown away. And I was like, "Yep, this is it. This is what I'm gonna do. I want this." So I went online and saw that they were teaching teen classes, and I joined. I joined up with that. Took the teen classes, then went to Improv Olympic. Took the adult classes, went back to Second City, took the adult class and then did conservatory, and then did acting, and then just got deeper and deeper into it. So, yeah, 35. I started when I was 15. So
That's awesome, man. I wish I would have started when I was younger. I also wish I had a nice story like that where I went to see something and then I want to do this for the rest of my life. It wasn't necessarily like that for me, but so you did that. Then what happened? What'd you do after that? Where'd you go?
after
Your adult classes and all that. What'd you do? What were you doing? Where were you shooting?
then I took an acting class, and then I was like, I like this a lot better. This seems to be a lot more, this seems deeper. And then I just got really into the craft. And just got into it more and more, and then started getting work, and then I fell in love with teaching. I really love the craft. So started teaching at a local studio in Chicago.
That will remain nameless.
Yeah, the studio. I love it. I absolutely love it.
And then any of the projects that you want to name that you were a part of that you enjoyed a lot?
I mean, probably the best one that I was involved with, I was helping a buddy of mine out, and he was working on his thesis program for grad school. And it was called Creatures of the Night. And this is where I play like some, mob guy and everything. And I loved it.
Is that the one with the white suit?
That's the one. Yeah,
Yeah,
Quincy.
yeah.
Quincy?
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, you look good there, man.
No, I had a good time with that character.
No, man, I'll tell you. I mean, I think you have a very good sense of acting, like the way you teach it.
Mm-hmm.
You're very good at showing motion and how to move and the significance of the movements and all
Correct.
that, and how to build, how to put it all together.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I took away when I was taking your classes. I learned a lot there, man. You gave me a lot of insight. I was kind of sad when I left your class, but we all have our reasons to move on. So again, nameless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But man, you were real good, man. You really started me off on a nice foundation to get going, and like you hope, following in your footsteps, hoping I can end up somewhere.
You will.
Doing something,
Yeah, no, you will. As long as you have the correct information, the correct strategy, the correct technique. Yeah,
that's what it's all about, man.
It's a strong technique, and you will get results. That's all that matters. I approach it from a very scientific point of view, not from the whole love yourself and you're great, you're awesome. No, you're not great, you're not awesome, and don't love yourself. It's not worth it. But if you have a strong technique, then that I think will override everything, because confidence can be faked. Can I say bullshit?
Sure, yeah. Of course, you can say whatever you
bullshit.
Want to say.
Bullshit can be, faked. But a technique, you can't fake that. It's like anything else, martial arts, basketball, whatever. It's the more you practice on your craft, the better you get.
See, and I'm learning that. I'm noticing that now. Because like I think we've had conversations before, and like I've said, I think I've always had issues with nerves and confidence. I mean, you were the unfortunate person that got to see my first performance of the Glass Menagerie and all that stuff.
No, not unfortunate.
It was pretty sad. I had to cover it with music. But I struggle with a lot of nerves and stuff like that, and I start to realize that the more you practice, the more comfortable you get into it. I mean, nerves are part of it. That's going to come with it. But the more you practice, the more you put yourself in that situation, the more comfortable you get in the situation. And the nerves kind of change from nerves to excitement and anticipation and whatever. I mean, I'm still in the nerve state. Even the other day when I was filming something here in my basement, I was nervous, shaking in front of a camera. But, like everything, I guess you get accustomed to it. You get better at it, more confident in it,
Of course. I got to say, just talking behind this mic and, looking at you, I feel like we're doing Bane. Because I can see your mic.
Yeah, you can't see nobody's mouth.
I'm just wondering why you would shoot him out.
Man.
Yeah, no, nerves are very common. Just from a psychological standpoint, all that's going on is just, this is a new, it's a stimulus. And it's something new. So of course, yeah, your body's going to react to it in a very visceral way. But it's normal. The more you expose yourself to a stimulus, the more accustomed you get to it, and it becomes natural. It doesn't
Yeah.
become as frightening. But
Yeah, I mean, and that happens. That happens naturally, like you said.
mm-hmm.
I just wanted to keep, learning about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, when I got intrigued by it, again, I kind of fell ass backwards into it.
Mm-hmm.
I did that commercial thing for Walmart, like 5 years ago around this time, and that kind of, sparked my interest in it. Even when I was a kid, though, I kind of liked to fuck around with shit,
Mm-hmm.
act in the living room and stuff like that, but
Mm-hmm.
never thought I could do it. So I said, screw it. I might as well at least try before I look back at my life and say, hey, maybe I could have done it. I'd rather do it and fail at it and be miserable than not try at all.
So is acting like a recent inspiration that you just kind of fell across, or was there always something in the background where like you've always wanted to do it? But
It's weird. It's like it kind of was there,
mm-hmm.
but I never really wanted to, I guess, to pursue it in a way. Like I loved like reenacting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I was a kid, I'd memorize like the Ninja Turtles movie, the 90s
Oh, sure.
and I would do it in my living room and stuff like that and whatever. And even now, like you watch a good Batman movie and it's like it's in your head and you want to do the scenes and you want to do Heath Ledger stuff and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And, I grew up and, we got to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
You never thought of actually trying to do that, and you would think that it's for special people, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But then, when I started taking classes, you realize that it's like anything else.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be good at something, you got to practice. You got to work on it. Don't get me wrong. I think there are special people like Gary Oldman's special.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger's special.
Yes. Absolutely.
Those people are special. And I don't really have aspirations to be there per se, right? I would love to, but I'm a little more grounded. I'm more like, if I can make a remake of Family Matters, I'll be happy with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'll be more than happy with that.
So before you got into acting, was there just out of curiosity, when you were younger, did you have like, when I get older, I want to do this, like a dream?
That's hard for me because are you interviewing me or am I interviewing
No,
you?
we just talking,
we
babe.
just talking?
That's
Okay.
all. We just
That's all we
talking.
doing?
That's
That's
all we
doing.
doing.
All right.
We just talking. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a fireman,
Okay.
right?
I had a feeling you were gonna say that.
But that like kind of disappeared pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it was just like, typical things. Want to work on cars and stuff like
Sure.
that. But those things never panned out. I think after that, like I really early in my life started working. Like I was 16, I was already working.
Yeah.
So like my dreams kind of just became work and buying things instead of worrying about a career and stuff like that. What about you?
Jeez, yeah, same thing. I
Well,
started.
you turned 18. You were already inspired by acting, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, the TV was my best friend growing up. Since as young as I can remember, probably 7 or 8 years old. Yeah, I would just be in that room and just watch TV, and I remember I would just be so like hypnotized by these performances. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. And I remember one of the biggest revelations for me was I was watching This Boy's Life with De Niro and DiCaprio.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where he beats the crap out of DiCaprio, and the way he did it just felt so real. I was like, this guy's a bad dude. Like, oh my god, like this doesn't look like an actor. Like I knew actors, like I could tell they're acting. Like this guy looks like he's
Really
got a
beating
real
the shit out of
abusive alcoholic.
He sold it.
Yeah, and then when I saw Raging Bull, and the scene where he beats up Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
He's like, you sucked his cock. And he just walks over and goes, poosh, poosh, hits him. And the part where, he hits his wife, and the way he just walked away, like there were no lines. He hit her, but the way he walked away, I was like, okay, this dude is, that was the first time where I like felt like truly uncomfortable. Like this feels real. Then I found out that this guy is just, average dude, kind of quiet, shy, but just a really good actor.
But that's good acting, man.
Yeah, I was like, how the hell did they do that? Then I started, Pacino, Pesci, Oldman, Meryl Streep, Sally Field, just, even the classical actors, your Olivier's and all that. And I was like, Jesus, not only can these people do, good, strong character work and emotional work, but listen to that voice of theirs. So, when I was younger, it's just acting has always been a part of my life. But when I saw it live, like, yep, this is it. This is my star.
See, that's one thing I do want to do. I mean, I haven't done anything major. I want to see actors work.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been on the set with PD and stuff like that, with Chicago PD.
Mm-hmm.
And you normally, since you're BG or whatever, you end up just seeing, action scenes or whatever. You don't necessarily always see them do what they do. It's like, I'm dying. That's one of my lines from my monologue. I'm dying to see it, just so I can get a glimpse of it. I think that's why so much I loved watching like behind the scenes stuff.
Big time.
Like I loved watching, cuts, like to see what it is that it looks like without music, without, special effects per se, just to see how they react to certain things and how they sell it, because it's not real, right? Obviously it's not real, it's acting, right? But to them and the scene, it feels real.
Yeah.
And that's like, like how do they get in that zone? How do they forget and just turn everything else off? That's tough, like that's tough for me. I mean, obviously they're professionals and they've been doing it for years, but it's such a question. Like, I wish I can sit down with Gary Oldman like I am with you and just be like, dude, how do you do this?
I know.
Like, explain it to me, please.
Yeah. One of the coolest things I saw was, a B footage from, the second Batman, with Heath Ledger. And when they're setting up the cameras or whatever, or when Christopher Nolan's talking to the other actors about, the scene, you just see, Heath Ledger just staying in that zone and not breaking at all. I was like, that is true commitment. Same with like movies from with Gary Oldman or Tarantino films, where again they're setting up the camera, they're doing all this stuff, and the other actors are talking, shooting the shit, whatever, which is fine. But you'll see those certain actors where they're still, in it and focused. Like, yeah, that's a true craftsman.
So I realized one thing. Do you remember that crazy outbreak that Christian Bale had when he started yelling at the lighting guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not defending him. By no means am I defending him, right? But I realized when I was recording the little monologue I was shooting, right? Because I had my cousin's kids behind the camera for me, and they would just keep they would hear any little noise and it was laughing, and I wasn't mad at them, right? By no means am I mad, but you could start to feel the frustration, like you're in it, and I'm like, I would tell them like, fuck it, I missed a line, because she's following me along on the lines. She's like, and she would make a face like I messed up, and I'm like, fuck it, just keep going until we finish. Let's just go through it, and then later we'll do it again, or whatever the fact. So I kind of understand it. I mean, that was a bit extreme.
Yes.
Especially for someone who's getting paid millions of dollars.
What are you doing?
I'm serious. Oh my
I
God.
mean, I like you and everything, but come on.
But I just want to punch you in the face. Like, you're so unprofessional.
And, I get it. It's kind of what, Joaquin Phoenix did. When you are really into it, it really is a zen. It's a state of focus. It's a state of concentration. And everything has to be pretty much perfect. And this is
anything fucks you up.
Yeah.
Any little thing.
This has been going back since, Stanislavski days, where if a student, came late for a rehearsal, he was like, you just now interrupted the entire flow of creativity because we had to sit here and wait for you.
Dude, like, I realized when I was shooting that any little fucking thing, and then you realize, and then when you go on a bigger set, right? Like PD's the biggest thing I've been on, right? So that's a lot of people running around and doing shit, and a lot of people behind the camera and all of that. And you realize if any little thing, somebody drops something, somebody breaks something or moves something, it's such a distraction, because all she was doing, let me tell you, when I would like if I did it, if I was sounding good, and she didn't mean it she did it on like subconsciously. I could like she'll say okay with her hand, but like on her lap, and I'm like, I see it, don't do it, because now I'm looking at that instead of looking at you, and it's like I understand how distracting stuff can be, and trying to be focused in that situation. In a way, I get it, right? Like again, I don't excuse Christian Bale for that, but
no,
because that was a bit much.
Yes,
but I get it in a way.
Yeah, I mean, people like that, they are extremists, and honestly, I believe if you really want to have like a career or whatever, you have to be a little bit obsessive. The people we just mentioned, yeah, they are professionally obsessed, and this is their thing. And however they get themselves into it, for one, I can guarantee you, it's definitely a very emotional state that they are already in, and it's like when you become emotional, and someone is, distracting you or whatever, it's irritating because like, okay, good, I found it, good, now I'm gonna use it, good, I have to let it play out. Because if you get distracted, then your emotions don't like to be turned on. They're very well calibrated. They only need to be turned on if there's something that is out of balance. The whole goal is to have homeostasis. So if something happens where it's like, oh, this is different, now I need to react. But as an actor, if you're trying to consciously bring up certain emotions, for one, that's not easy at all. It takes a lot of focus, a lot of concentration, and an extreme work ethic to get that part of your brain, working under your will, under your control. It's not easy. So one little thing, with the lighting dude or whatever, or with the director talking, Todd Phillips in the background when Joaquin Phoenix is trying to find a character. He's like, look, I don't mean to sound rude, but you're just being a real dick while talking, It's so
you think those guys still have jobs?
So, it's, I get it. They put themselves in, it's a very difficult state to be in. And yeah, it's like, you are in this deep zen and you don't want to break out of it. So little things.
So someone that would have forced you to get out of it would be very upsetting, I'm guessing.
It could be very annoying, especially, you got to think about it. When you're doing film, especially a full length, you are on set for hours and hours and hours, and you pretty much say goodbye to the outside world. Your home is now that studio for the next 3 or 4 months during production. So, and the more, you get into the character and everything and you want to kill it, especially if you're considered one of the more elite premier actors, yeah, you have a standard now to fill. You have an audience that is expecting something from you. You've given them a standard. So there's a lot of conditions going on, and yeah, it's like when you're in that moment, when you're in that zone, and someone's, whether they're doing it on purpose or not,
don't ruin no one's scene.
It could be a little frustrating because it's sometimes you have to be a little bit I don't want to say brutal, but people need to know this is serious. I know this might come as a shock. I know it came to a shock to me, but Mike Myers was that way. He was doing goofy comedies, but he took it very seriously to the point where if the scene didn't go right, or if the actor didn't do it like this or whatever, like he would just blow up. Or if they had different opinions of lines or whatever, he's like, no. It's like he was very obsessive and has a reputation of not being the easiest to work with. And he said, look, I'm not trying to be mean. It's just this is very serious for me. I love comedy.
We all have a standard, right? We want to try to meet it. And if you're keeping me from it, then that's a problem.
Yeah. It's a standard, like with anything else, like cooking. Yeah. If you're a Michelin chef, little things like, why did you plate it like this? Why did you put too much? Why did you put salt here? What are you doing?
Those are big deals.
Yes,
that's a big deal.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it. It was just, I think he was caught in in a bad moment. I think it was understandable. It was one of those things. Like, I bet you it happens a lot.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It just, he happened to be the one that got caught with someone pulling out a phone and recording it. It would have been awesome to have video though. Mm-hmm. That would have been a hell of a scene. But I think he just got up. He had some bad luck there because I think someone just happened to record it. Because I'm pretty sure it happens a shit ton of times.
Oh yeah, I saw when I was a background when I did Med. I'm not gonna say who the actor was, but they're not the best actor in the world. They kind of suck. Just saying. And I don't know. The scene was just this actor. I don't even want to say the gender. Their preferred pronoun was them. All they had to do was just walk to the other doctor, say the news or whatever, and this person, the actor, forgot their lines, and the extra was like whispered the lines to this actor, and this actor was like, "I don't need you to tell me my lines."
And he blew up.
Okay, I had to fly from here. I did a commercial for this, so I'm tired. I'm jet lagged. Don't tell me my lines. And she said, "Get rid of him." And
Get the fuck out.
AD came. He's like, "You gotta go."
Wow.
Like, Jesus.
That's fucked up. With a BG person?
Yeah.
God.
It's like,
He was
Jesus.
probably happy there just to see them and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. And he got fired. And this is, not a good actor at all. But, what honestly, I think it's just, power gets to people. And, yeah, they have a certain status. So, and when they know they can get away with it, I mean, come on. You have people like, Bruce Willis, who I love as an actor, but Jesus Christ.
Tough to work with?
Yeah, like there's one, I forget what movie it was. It was one of the later ones in his career, and he was refusing to get out of his trailer because he didn't like the scene. So, yeah, the director pleading with him. He's like, "No."
But why do you sign for something if you don't like where the story's going? I mean, at some point, I'm assuming you have to read the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're the main actor, I'm assuming you have to read the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have an issue with that,
Mm-hmm.
why do you wait till you're on set and then lock yourself in
Actors
a
are
trailer?
goofy.
Like, that just sounds pretty stupid, man.
Yes, actors are goofy people. They are not normal. Not a single one. Especially the better they are, I think the more crazy they are. Depending, crazy in a good way or crazy in a, oh my God, get away from me. But yeah, and also, status. When you're making a lot of money, yeah, it's going to get to your head. And when you have, Jesus, fans.
See, I wonder how
Nothing messes
that
with your head.
I wonder how that goes for, like, I mean, again, I've never had that type of experience. The most famous I ever got was when I did the commercial and I went to a Walmart event and people knew who I was.
Sure.
That was the biggest I ever got. And I can say this now because obviously I'm not in that shoe, but like, I always, if I ever make it big, I want to stay, as humble as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Always sign things, say hi, stuff like that. Cause I'm always like,
Mm-hmm.
because even when I was on PD, and we'll try to stay names because we're trying to work in those places again.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the actors that I've mingled with, they're cool. They'll say hi, whatever. There is one that he or she
right, or it,
like, he doesn't. Oh,
or she,
that actor,
right?
Because that's neutral. That's gender neutral.
That
actor, like, doesn't even acknowledge people. And to me, it's just like, I get it. You got a lot of money in your pocket right now. You're this particular thing is about you guys, and wouldn't even look in our direction type thing. And I'm like, is it so hard? We're trying to be, at least for the majority, I'm assuming, because anybody can do BG or whatever. We're trying to be like you guys. That's how I look at it. Like, when I go on a set like that, I'm there to see what you guys do because I want to be where you guys are. So, like, if I was in their shoes, I would offer what I could. If that's 2 words of advice, if that's a hi, if that's a bye, or keep doing what you're doing, or whatever, or do this way, that's the very least I can do to give back to the craft, right? Or am I alone on that?
You're probably alone. No, I mean, I get it when it comes to that, and I have a quick little funny with the same. I think it might be the same person you're talking about.
Nice.
But for the most part, when it comes to BG, the main actors know just from experience, and I knew this when I was doing it just for like a month. I was like, okay, this is too long for me. Most of them they're not even into acting. They're just doing it just to make a quick buck. And I remember during break when we're all getting lunch and everything, I was talking to one of the BGs, And he's like, I sound like a gangster. Talk to a BG. I was talking to one of the background actors, and he was saying, oh, yeah, I've been doing this for 15 years, and,
That's a
I
bit
got
much.
money on the table, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why would you even, for one, tell anybody that? This is the lowest of the low. You don't tell people I'm a background actor. And then when I talked to more people, they all had real jobs. They said, oh, I just want to do this for a hobby or whatever. So the main actors know, for the most part, these aren't even actors. They're just people who are filling in the background. So to be honest, I probably would do the same thing, because when you're doing show after show or film after film, yeah, you're going to realize that for the most part,
They don't care.
yeah, there's not too many background people who are dedicated to acting. The norm is just they want to, easy money and a free meal.
Huh. That's a good point. That's a good
I remember
point.
when I was an extra. This was my first gig, I think. Yeah, but I was doing PD, and then we were on a train or whatever, and the main actor, was just very handsome, very good looking. This is a good story, so it's not gonna make him look bad. But he's the one who plays, Halstead, and basically it's Halstead is trying to catch this one dude who I don't know if he has a bomb or something, but he's trying to chase him, and so basically the scene is where he chases him on a train. People are all haha, and he's like, duck, duck. Then the guy jumps off the train, and that's it. So it was one of those. It was kind of a complicated shot. So I was near the front of the train, and I was sitting next to a girl, and I was, we were business people, so we had suits and briefcases and all that stuff. And then, here comes the actor who plays, Halstead and everything. They all cut, and the other guy's like, yeah, that felt good. That felt good. It felt like we were in the moment. He's like, oh my god, it's just like he was just so odd. It's like you could just tell, like, oh my god, like you could tell, like this other dude was new, and he was like that with the dude from Chicago Fire, the guy who plays Severide.
Okay.
Because I saw some moments where I was like, I wonder how they interact, like how they talk about acting, and it's kind of the same way that most typical people talk about acting, like how did I feel, or what if I did this or whatever. And this is when it was like one of those crossover shows. They had Fire, they had Med, they had PD, and the guy who plays Halstead's brother, he's the doctor on Med.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking back and forth, and the guy was like, like, what if I do this? Like, I kind like, I want to stop you, so I grab your shirt, and the guy who plays Halstead, like, slap his hand, like, don't do that. Like, this guy's like, I like him, but he's a little bit weird. I don't know what. I was like, maybe I'm being paranoid. This cannot be happening. But when I was on the train, doing it for PD, the director yells cut, and then Halstead's just walking back and forth or whatever, and there's a girl sitting next to me. So I'm by the window, and she's by the aisle, and he sits down, opens his legs and all that stuff, and then he kind of just looks at the girl, and I kind of saw him. I was like, dude, he's checking you out. She's like, no, he's not. Don't say that. Like he is eyeing you hard. Damn. And she's like, and you could just tell, like, starstruck. I was like, man, you little dog.
He's a good looking dude, man.
He's very good looking. And then the director's like, all right, we need 2 people in the back for the next shot. All right, you and you. Points to me and her. So I was like, all right, we're going in the back. Then we go in the back. They're still setting up. Then Halstead comes walking towards the back. And he sits down again across from us. Opens his legs, puts his hand on the seat. Looks at the girl. I'm like, dude, he's looking at you again. She's like, stop. Then, she looked up. And they made eye contact. Then he bit his lip real sexy. And you kind of did a little squint, like, I got you. I was like, it's like, he's fucking her. I was like, this is hot. I mean, there's a thing with casting agents. Again, they don't know the craft as well as we do. They just know, like, okay, we got to go on our gut instinct. That's all it is. It's just trial and error until you become good to where you can sense, who's going to be the right person for the project. And one of the things I can promise you they look for is, in the first 3 seconds, can this person light up a room? Because remember, when you're doing a TV show, especially, or
And
film,
that's what he did.
Someone is in your home.
Right.
You're watching this idiot box, and they're in your home. So if an actor comes in, it's like they have to light up the room. And certain people, like, the guy who plays Halstead, Casey from Fire, he was on, House, or whatever, the Australian dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, good-looking guy on TV. In real life, I'm like, God, are you hot? And I'm straight. Jesus, are you gorgeous? And they just have a certain, likability, a certain charm. It's like they don't care if you have the strongest acting technique, but if you have that certain special characteristic where it's like, wow, they just lit up the whole room. Yeah, you're getting hired.
Yeah.
And so there he is, just giving her all these. I was like, man, this guy's a pro. Holy cow. And then director says, all right, now we need one more in the front. Okay, you. He points to me. I'm like, all right, go back in the front. She stayed in the back. We're waiting for the shot, and here comes Halstead again. Sits, in the next row on the train. Then he's looking at me. I was like, I know he's looking at me. I was like, why is he looking at me? So I kind of looked past him, by the window. I was like, nice day outside. I'm like, why is he staring? I was like, wait, this dude's weird. I was like, okay, well, that was just a weird situation, whatever. Then when I'm doing med, it was the crossover episode, and there he is again. And I'm just by, the computers and everything. Just all I got to do is straighten up the files and pretend I'm doing this, typing in data. And then he comes right next to me, does. Puts his elbows right, and he kind of bumped into the books. I was like, oh, well, sorry. And I moved and he's like, it's all right. Like, what is like this guy? And he kept following me. I was like, okay, I got to test this theory because this dude cannot be following me for some reason. So I moved to a different location, different part, of the bay.
Right behind you?
Just follow him. Like, I was like, dude, I don't know. Like, if he was trying to see if I was going to get starstruck or whatever, but I was like, personally, I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care. I'm an extra. This means nothing to me. But, the way the girls would just light up.
Course.
And the way, like, some people, that gets to their head and they get all, cheesy and they think they're, God's gift to girls.
No. I've seen him a couple times on set. Definitely a looker, right? The dude's a looker. I've seen him on a couple episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a couple good scenes that I've seen him act in.
Mm-hmm.
I think they all have good, scenes.
Yeah, I think he's good for that character.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think he's terrible.
He's definitely got a good look.
Mm-hmm.
The one I had the most interaction with was with Patrick, the guy who plays Rusek.
Yeah.
So the first time I was on PD, we were in this like bar scene, but then the scene I was in was upstairs in like this like abandoned bowling alley thing for like a drug deal. And we were one of the boys, right? So we're up there. Directors, they're doing whatever they do. The director grabs, it was 4 of us and a younger kid. So the director grabs 3 of them and leaves me out. Cool. I mean, not that I don't care because I'm kind of pissed off because I'm like, shit, I kind of wanted to do something, right?
Right.
But I'm getting paid, so I don't care. So they go, hey, we don't need you, go back downstairs. So I go back down to the bar. I'm just there, and I'm behind all the monitors where they're watching everything. And about 5 minutes later, one of the guys comes down and says, hey, you, come on. So I go up, and he's like, okay, you're gonna be right here by the door. They're gonna come in. Rusek's gonna push you or whatever, grab you, use you like a human shield, whatever, blah blah blah. Cool. But then in my head, I'm like, damn, I ended up better than everybody else because story-wise, you can't just have someone flying out of the scene. You have to kind of show it. I'm like, I'm gonna get a pretty good shot here. So like, when in class we start to talk about, the moments before and while the camera's rolling, it doesn't exist, but you have to play something. You have to do something. You can't just stand there. I start clowning around, whatever. We go through it. Rusev, he pushes the shit out of me, man.
Yeah.
He pushes the living shit out of me.
Yeah.
And then the actual scene that was shown is they follow Atwater chasing the bad guy or whatever. And but we kept going until, obviously you keep going until they say cut. And so we all end up with our hands up. Rusek's holding this like assault rifle at me or at us. And I'm kind of separated from the group, So he pushes me again. No, he tells us all to get on our knees first, right? So we get
Right.
on our knees, whatever. And I'm still far away. So he goes and he literally kicks me, right, with his foot, pushes me on the ground and tells me to crawl to the rest of the guys, right? So I'm there crawling on my hands, whatever. So I'm playing it off. They yell cut. Rusick comes up. He comes down, picks me up. He's like, I hope I didn't kick you too hard, whatever. I'm like, nah, man, it's part of the game. And then
Good.
I actually asked him, like, how do you want to do this? Like, so we can, because we're gonna do it again. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out as we go.
Mm.
And I'm like, man, you know what? That's interesting. Like, I always wondered how much of it is, just doing it, like reaction, how much of it is planned.
Mm.
And in that particular case, reaction is just reaction, like how you push, how you react to him telling, yelling, it's Chicago PD, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was so interesting. Like, and that's one thing I worry too much about. I know we have to plan things, but reaction is more believable, right? So, like, my question would be, where do you draw the line at that? Like, what is it, like 50-50? Is it, do you have to practice everything?
It depends for the most part, like the type of show you're on. Like shows, especially like PD, Fire Med, any Dick Wolf show, or anything that's like, a lot of action, not too much story, whatever. Yeah, for the most part, it's like they're not really worried about planning exact actions or whatever, because the main action happens on the cutting room floor. When the editor's going, okay, we're going to take that out, throw in music, do a quick cut to this, do a quick cut to that. So they're not concerned about, the choreography. Unless it's something like if you are doing a Christian Nolan film, then yes, everything has to be planned out like a dance. It has to be very specific. One of the best, again, for a lazy actor, the dream job is to be on TV. 2 weeks on, 1 week off, you only have one character to play. And if you get picked up, oh my God, hello, 8 seasons of doing pretty much nothing. I just got to say, same character, the same thing, same delivery. I got it made in the shade.
And that's one of the things I try to explain, like, to people that obviously don't know much about this, about the craft or whatever, because they think some people are good actors. I'm like, they're not necessarily good actors. I mean, if you're just you every time you're on screen, I don't consider you a great actor. I think you have to be like, my sister was asking me about the monologue I shot. It's like, why are you changing your voice? Why don't you just talk like you? And I'm like, if I talk like me, then it's me. It's not a character that I'm trying to play, because the character's not Miguel Rivera. The character is such and such.
Right.
And I have to kind of try to be somebody different. And that Michael Caine video, I think he says it best. He's like, the character you see on screen should be a stranger to you.
Right.
You shouldn't. I mean, you should recognize how it looks like you, but it shouldn't sound like you. It should be somebody different. And that's where I think I differentiate good acting and bad acting. Like The Rock, to me, he serves a purpose. Let me put it that way. He serves a purpose. He's Arnold. He's a modern day Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Absolutely.
He's better because he speaks cleaner English.
Yes.
But he's useful because he's the biggest star in Hollywood, right? He's got the best physique, whatever. He's not horrible. He's not how do I explain it? He's not going to change who he is.
No,
it's just The Rock with different lines.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm a big Rock fan, especially when he was a wrestler and all that. Like, to me, great acting is Gary Oldman. Like, I have to watch it. The one where he plays what's the movie that he had the whole Winston Churchill movie?
Oh yeah.
Darkest something.
The Darkest Hour. Yeah.
I gotta watch that movie because that, like, every character I've seen him in, they're distinctively different.
Yes.
Yes. You almost forget who it is.
Yes.
And that's when I'm like, that's good acting. When I forget that it's Gary Oldman, or I forget that it's Heath Ledger, or I forget that it's Denzel Washington sometimes,
right,
or Johnny Depp sometimes. Like, that to me is when, or the new Joker guy.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. You forget that it's them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's when you notice that these actors have something special about them.
Yeah. Oh, he killed it. yeah, when it comes to The Rock, I mean, that's just, pop entertainment. It's like the Britney Spears of acting. A very good
He
businessman.
puts asses in seats.
Yes, of course.
But
He's-
that's the
it's a
question.
businessman.
Would he be as big? Would he be as big if he wasn't a WWE superstar?
No, not at all. You can only get same thing with Schwarzenegger if he wasn't Mr. Olympia. He already had built a very strong reputation and decided to,
He had a fan
expand
base.
his business.
Right.
He
He already had a fan base. So
yeah.
like 90. Like if you signed The Rock in the early 2000s, you were just by his name alone, you were going to get thousands of tickets sold.
Of course.
Yeah. Again, I think he's a little better than Schwarzenegger acting wise. Like there's a couple movies where I'm like, hey, he actually acted pretty well. Like for me, my favorite movie of his is Gridiron Gangs.
Yeah.
Like that's like probably the best I've ever seen him do.
Yeah.
So he has a little more talent, but he's definitely more charismatic. But I don't think anybody can do kind of what he does. We just all can't have his genetics and look like him.
Yes.
Yeah.
When it comes to Hollywood, this is a star making system. They don't care about the skills. It's like, okay, how much revenue can this person bring us? And if you have people like The Rock or other poppy actors who aren't really craftsmen, and that's okay. They know they're not like dedicated to the craft. They just know, I know my business. Like like Kevin Hart, funny comedian, but you're not going to see him you won't see him winning any Oscars, or bringing you to tears.
Right. And I think that's another thing. Yeah. Like I don't even think, like actors like them, they're not going to win awards like that. And I think
they provide a certain entertainment, for a certain age group, and the biggest consumers, and everyone knows this when it comes to Hollywood, are kids. That is their main target audience for studios that want to make a lot of money. So if Paramount is signing, The Rock for a 3-year contract, okay, how much profit can we make? And they know what they're doing. It's a very good business. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not going to put him in Goodfellas, or anything like that. And he knows his market, and he knows how to exploit it. So it's a very smart. Same with Schwarzenegger, brilliant businessmen, not the best actors, but they know their business.
Yeah.
So I give them respect to that. But like I knew the biggest change I had to make was realizing not everyone's going to be a serious actor, and those who are not serious, they're not the worst people in the world.
Yeah.
Like, why are they doing this? How dare they spit on this craft?
There's a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of actors like that to me. Like Mark Wahlberg was big for a couple years straight, and to me, he kind of falls in the same bucket. Like he can act, right? But it's Mark Wahlberg in every movie. It's Mark Wahlberg, just different words, and that's when I start to not lose interest in characters. I watch the movies anyways, but that's when it's like, it's just, that's you, that you're not acting, you're not covering anything up, The only one I think that can get away with that, to me, honestly, is like Robert Downey Jr. Because like when he does the whole Tony Stark thing, and that's basically him, I'm okay with it. Because he does it so, like, it so fits the Tony Stark character, and it's like, it fits beautifully with it. But then I watched, what's the movie that he plays the black guy?
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Like that one's a little different, and that was funny. Did you watch the Dr. Dolittle one that just came out? I haven't had a chance to watch it.
No,
I've seen the trailers. I'm like, he kind of plays a little different, but I'm those type of actors to me are just like, I don't know. Either they don't try or they just can't. Because I feel like I'm gonna be stuck as a bad guy for my entire career, and I'm okay with that because Gary Oldman's a bad guy for most of his career, and I'll take it, even though I don't think I'll be that good at changing characters like that because that's a special dude. But I got to get good at that. Like I got to change a little bit if it's the way I say things or slurs or whatever. Something I got to work on for myself.
I like Robert Downey. When he was younger, he was a lot more deeper into it, especially when he played Chaplin. I thought he killed that role. But I think as he got older and he fixed himself, again, I think he just found a market that he could do very well in. And
he found a role that'll support him for the rest of his life.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I still think I loved him in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah,
He killed that character. And other movies that he did earlier in his career, he's a very good actor, no doubt about it. But it's constantly adapting. And again, when you are a Hollywood celebrity and everything, it's no longer about the craft. It's all about what are you doing 24/7. You are now in that public eye. So if your personal life is not in check and you're not fully, balanced or centered in the art of acting, then yeah, you have to adapt. I mean, how many stories have you heard about, De Niro's scandals or drug abuse? Zero compared to, Robert Downey Jr. is in rehab.
Yeah.
They found heroin. Oh my God. He's been a crackhead since he was 4. All this stuff. It's like, oh my, who cares about his life? I don't care about his life. I care about his movies.
And
so
good point, because I think we get confused with people like I feel like we care so much about their personal life when it shouldn't really matter. It was like with how I felt about like Kobe Bryant. Like everybody hated Kobe Bryant, right? I loved Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Oh well, he got charged with molesting a girl or raping a girl, and he had to pay her off and all of that. I didn't care about all that because at the end of the day, all I care about is what he does on a basketball court. I don't care what he does on his personal life. Do I agree with what he did or accused of doing? No, but that's none of my concern, right? All I care about is, does he help the team I want to win?
Right.
He could do whatever he wants. He's a grown man.
Yeah.
And I guess the same thing goes with acting. I mean,
absolutely.
I don't care if who hit who after they said cut. All I care about is what I'm watching. And what I'm trying to learn from that person while I'm watching it after, whatever. It's whatever.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when you are in the public eye and again, you're making millions and millions of dollars. Yeah. I mean, the agreed upon terms when you go big into Hollywood is that, whatever you do now, people are going to know about it because now you are a public figure. And now you are a voice of, inspiration and influence and all this nonsense. So, if you're not, the world's most balanced human being, people will find dirt on you constantly.
I do think famous people do very stupid things sometimes, though. And again, we look at it because we're not in their shoes, but like, especially like, I don't know, who John Jones is? He's a UFC fighter. So probably the best pound for pound fighter ever. Recently got caught driving drunk, having a gun. Like, to me, that's the most stupidest thing. Like, why would you have all the money in the planet? Couldn't you hire someone to just drive you around?
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to drive drunk? Why do you have to make these stupid decisions when they're unnecessary decisions, when you have every option to avoid it? And it's just like, I don't get it. Like, is it something? Is it an ego thing? Is it? I don't
it's a
understand.
human thing. I mean, stupidity doesn't go away just because you're a success. I mean, you have people like what's that dude in Fast and Furious, the one who passed away,
Paul Walker.
Again, I mean, I don't know much about the dude. I thought he got involved in a very good franchise and everything, but this dude had a girlfriend that was underage, and he was in his mid-30s. Jerry Seinfeld.
R. Kelly.
Oh
man, R.
Piss
Kelly.
on you,
dude. R. Kelly's the dumbest one. I don't understand. That one's even worse to me. You got all this money in the world. You got all this pussy, overage pussy, right? Overage pussy,
right?
Legal age pussy, getting thrown at you on a daily basis,
right?
But you're attracted to underage girls.
Yes, it's.
Doesn't make any sense to me, man. I mean, you got to be sick or something's got to be wrong with you. But if you're a normal human being, which he likes to say he is, I don't get it. You should have no problem getting women at all.
Yeah.
And you want underage girls. That's weird.
Yes.
And how do you even relate? Because how old is he now? He's got to be almost 50, right?
Probably, yeah.
40 something. And the two girls that they were saying were locked up in his house or whatever, they're like 25 years younger than him. How do you even relate to? And we're in love. We have a relationship. That doesn't even make sense. That's like me. Okay, my cousin's daughter, she's 20. She's going to be 21. Okay, I love them to death. And we have things slightly in common, but the generational leap is just it's too much. Like, I would never be able to date someone
Mm-hmm.
in that age group. It's
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. Like,
Mm-hmm.
or even remotely have a. What do you talk about?
Mm-hmm.
We're way past Power Rangers at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
I mean, perversions. A flawed human being doesn't disappear with success.
Yeah.
I mean, people are people. I mean, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, the dude from Glee. I mean,
Michael Jackson. Even though you know what, Michael.
O.J. Simpson. You know?
Michael Jackson's a special case for me. I'll tell you why. I don't know if you have an opinion on Mike, but like Michael Jackson to me, again, I'm not excusing anything he did,
Mm-hmm.
right? Did he rape or molest the boys? I think he probably did for like the first kid.
Mm-hmm.
He probably did the first kid. How many parents probably said, or how many parents probably saw dollar signs after the first one and they found
Mm-hmm.
out how much the payout is,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, you probably tell your kid, hey, I'm going to send you over to Michael Jackson's house. Don't let him touch you.
Mm-hmm.
But when you come out, I want you to walk like something happened.
Right.
And I'm going to buy you whatever you want after that.
Mm-hmm.
How many parents probably said something like that?
Well, in my opinion,
Shameless plug.
I don't know. I mean, you gotta look at this dude's backstory. This dude did not have an easy life.
Exactly.
I mean, no childhood
Exactly.
at all. So you're gonna try to recreate it. I think he was dealt a very tough situation. I thought he tried to deal with it. Personally, do I think he did it? Honestly, no. I just don't think. For one, I mean, this guy was like the businessman in music. I don't like where he would have time to do all this. I mean, that is just.
But like you said, his childhood isn't an ordinary childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he was a little boy, he wasn't doing what little boys do.
No.
He was already making music.
Yeah.
While I'm playing with Hot Wheels, he's in a studio recording
Mm-hmm.
or on tour or
Mm-hmm.
on stages, and then on top of that, his dad's beating the shit out of him when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Plus his brothers who are older, because there was like 20 of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're freaking messing around with women
Mm-hmm.
inside the hotel rooms while he's there.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff is going on, and I feel like as he got older, when he became a solo act,
Mm-hmm.
he started doing things that kids do.
Yeah.
Like having a zoo.
Yeah.
Or naming his home Neverland.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he did things that you look at, and to me, if a child did it, we wouldn't have nothing to talk about. But
Right.
because he's 35 going on 50 at the time,
Yeah.
it's a problem. And it is a problem. Don't get me wrong. I'm not excusing
Mm-hmm.
whatever was said that happened, because if it happened, that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way, we have to put an asterisk and say, in a way, we kind of get it.
Mm-hmm.
No excuse, but in a way, I understand.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, that's definitely a tough one because, I mean, for one, I think the media was just having a field trip with that one, and they're trying to do whatever they could to put more fuel to the fire. So you can't really trust what the media is saying. Again, yeah, I think he developed that whole, Peter Pan complex and everything, but I don't know. I mean, I love the dude. This dude was, the best entertainer, hands down.
Yeah,
No
absolutely.
doubt about it. This guy was just
Like you ever look at talk about like Super Bowls, like Super Bowl halftime shows. You ever watch the one he was in that he was popping up like
Yep.
he'll pop up on the top of the scoreboard and whatever, he had like doubles like the like that was an amazing halftime show. Like
Yes.
you'll never see something like that again.
no.
Ever. Like he was the greatest. His music video quality was amazing. Like they were
Yes.
movies.
Yes, they were.
They were movies. It
I
was
think
insane.
the biggest mistake he made was when he talked. I forget what this idiot's name is, but he's like known for being such a jerk off journalist. He's like Indian or something. He was also he interviewed Robert Downey Jr. I don't know if you saw the video, but he was trying to, push the whole, drug addict thing.
Oh, that he kind of got mad at.
He's like,
yeah, he
your
kind of
legs
cut.
kind of shaking quite fast. Get to the question. It's like,
Yeah. I think I remember that one.
That idiot. I don't know what his problem is, but again, he did a documentary where he was trying to clean up Michael Jackson's name, and then he kind of stabbed him in the back, and it made it more of like an expose on the real Michael. And he had this one clip where he's with this young boy, I don't know, 12 or 13, and they're holding hands. He's like, I don't see what's wrong with it. It's just love. It's so special. The guy's like, do you think it's weird to hold a young boy's hand. I was like, oh my God. Like, okay, this is getting really weird.
They were like trying to find anything to pin on him.
Yeah.
Man.
Then they have videos with him and Macaulay Culkin saying, Macaulay, I'm scared. Help me. I'm like, okay, it's getting creepy.
I think they were out literally to find any little thing, because they would say stuff like that. Oh, is it okay for a 45-year-old man to hold the hand of a 10-year-old boy or 15-year-old boy or whatever? No. Is it the perfect thing? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe, right? But again, it depends on the situation. But since we're talking about Michael Jackson, who was someone who was accused of molesting boys, we're gonna look at that. But do we look at how much money he was giving to hospitals?
Absolutely correct.
Or giving to children's families or whatever?
Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, that's why I cannot believe. I mean,
because he was giving millions.
My background. I was born in the orphanage and everything, and so I was a huge fan of his because I saw his concert that he did in Romania, and the girls were just crying, like having heart attacks, passing out. Ambulance have to take out fans, because they're just passing out, looking at the star. And yeah, he went to every single orphanage in Romania, and just these kids who are just sick, and donating so much charity to them. I mean,
I think in his heart, I think he wanted to do good things. I just think he was so dramatized. Like he looked at everything kind of innocently.
Yeah.
Again, I don't. If things happened, there's no excusing that.
No.
Right.
Absolutely not.
But, I think there's an understanding for him, and I think that's why we kind of look at him still kind of in a positive way, versus R. Kelly. We kind of look at him as a negative way.
Like we have proof. Like we have this video. He's pissing on a girl's mouth. Like, dude, how
like that,
sick are you getting here?
Is it like that Chris Rock joke where he's like, "There's a damn Soul Train award next to the fucking bed. Best R&B. That's you."
Yeah. Yeah. When you have proof, like with Bill Cosby, with R. Kelly, and all these, Weinstein and all that, like, those are just sick people. They're just sick. But when the lines are not very clear, or when it's like we don't have direct proof, that's when the media kicks in and does all this nonsense. It just makes things worse. Yeah, it creates ratings. It's entertainment.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of stuff to that,
Which is why, again, once you are a celebrity and you are in that public eye, man, yeah, everything you do, yeah, you get exposed for everything. And if you had some kind of a screwed up childhood or whatever, issues don't go away just because you're happy. They're going to be there. And like that one dude, I think it was Mark Sailing from Glee. Did you ever watch Glee?
No, Glee's not my cup
Great
of tea.
show.
Is it really?
Yes, it is fantastic. Oh. It's you'll be surprised like how dark that show can get for something that's very light and poppy. Fantastic show. I think I've watched it 4 times. And one of the characters was Puck. He was a football player, kind of a bully and everything, and very handsome, very charming, just a very likable person. And then when the show ended, like a year or 2 or something, they're saying that his girlfriend found all these disgusting videos on his computer. And so, of course, she called the authorities. And, yeah, he had just hundreds and hundreds of just sick stuff, like 2-year-olds, 5, just disgusting shit. And so they're going to set up a trial for him and everything. And before that trial date happened, he killed himself. Parked over and shot himself. And this, again, it's like, dude, you are on a hit show. You have money. You're set for life. What are you doing? And again, issues, they don't go away. If you're screwed up, you're screwed up. Doesn't matter how much money you make or don't make. Tiger Woods, all that stuff. That's why, I like people like Gary Oldman, De Niro, Pacino, where I don't know much about their personal life. I don't want to know. I want to know about their acting, their movies. Even with my boy, There Will Be Blood. That God, I'm getting old. From There Will Be Blood. You know his name.
Do you need me to look it up?
You know his name, the main actor. Come on, this is embarrassing.
I know his name.
Yeah, There Will Be Blood, Gangs of New York. He played Lincoln.
Played Lincoln.
Yeah.
The movie that came out not so long ago, the Lincoln movie.
Yeah. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Sure. Okay. The guy who played Lincoln, got it.
Yeah, Daniel Day. I mean, just personally, I think like when it comes to the best actors, those who are dedicated to the craft, you don't care about their personal life, you care about their art, and that I think is very important. And I think that's kind of where things went south. That's how, it's a European tradition. The art form started in Europe. It has a much longer history. But when it came over to America, again, it's capitalism. So how much money can we make? And when you build stars and you build them on this platform, they become like gods and celebrities. Yeah, people forget the fact that they're human, and people have scars, and people are flawed, and sometimes people can be really screwed up and have their own mental illnesses or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right.
In my opinion, that's in my opinion.
All right. I think we're gonna cut it right here. I had a good time.
I had a good time.
Did you have a good time falling down my stairs when you got here?
Oh my god! Like I'm back. I'm keep on falling.
Oh man, that was not funny, but it was. I tried to hold you for a second.
I saw like you make the attempt of I'm gonna help. No, you're a grown man. I'm gonna reach a hand out halfway. Like, you okay?
But yeah, man, I had a good time, man. This was fun. We should do it again.
Yeah, how long do you usually record for or interview for?
45 minutes.
45 minutes.
We're at an hour and 6 minutes right now.
Hour and 6 minutes.
We're okay. No big deal. It's my show. I do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Yeah. We'll talk about some more stuff.
It'll just take forever to load, but whatever. It's okay.
Yeah. How are you loading this thing? Like through Logic or?
I don't know. I kind of wing it every time I do one of these.
Well, how are you liking your new Mac?
Macs?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Again, everybody thinks I hate Macs or I hate Apple. I don't hate Apple. I think Apple's a great product. I just think it for the price tag, and maybe not the computers, because obviously this Mac has things that I needed, and it does it for me. Because it's just easier, like especially with stuff like this recording and all that stuff. So I'm okay with the Macs. They're still way overpriced in my opinion. I mean, think about it. You can get the same processing power for a Windows computer, but you half the price.
Yeah, but
it just doesn't have a little Apple on it. Yeah, whatever. We'll talk about that.
On the next episode, in my opinion.
I'm serious. The phones, that's a different story. The phones to me are. I used to be an iPhone fan when I was younger. When I was younger and stupider. And I had a lot of them. I had like the original one all the way to like 5 or something is when I gave up on it. Again, it's all about price. For the price you pay, you're not getting the best stuff. You're getting a good product. You're not getting the best stuff. To me, it's like you wouldn't pay Mercedes-Benz price for a Toyota. Right? If I'm going to pay the price, I want power windows. I don't want roll-up windows.
Right.
And iPhones are roll-up windows. Because everything they have or missing, Androids have had already for years. And that to me is where I have a big issue. So like Touch ID, when that came out, that was a fingerprint scanner, right? Fingerprint scanners have been out for a long time, but they play it like it's brand new to them. Oh, we're the best. We just invented this thing. No, you haven't. Like they're going to come out with this wireless charging pad, right? That all the Apple fans are, oh yeah, we're going to have wireless charging. Everyone's had wireless chargers for a long time. Let's stop acting like this is new.
But isn't Apple known for their like security?
Sure, but I've never had a problem with security on my phone ever. Have you? Even I remember when the stupid like LG came out with the connecting line thing, whatever. That worked fine. I don't need it to be. What am I hiding? Do I have nuclear warhead codes or something? That I need to make sure that it's my head or eyes or whatever. I don't give a shit. I mean, the worst thing I got is a couple nude pics of a couple chicks. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my issue with Apple. You're an Apple fan.
I am.
I think the ecosystem's good. It's like
Yeah.
the way it works, where the phone connects well with the computer, and the computer can connect well with like the whatever they call the TV thing, Apple TV thing.
Mm-hmm.
All of that's cool. But again, it's to me, and then you guys are still staring at the same fucking icons on the screen. Like, don't you get tired of that shit?
What do you
I
mean?
get tired of that shit.
Well, like the apps or
Yeah, the home screen is the same since day one. And people are gonna tell me, no, it's not. It's different. I could put a picture on it now. Yeah, but you still got the same. The phone icon is the same
True.
since day one. I'm like, with Android, I can change whatever the fuck I want to change. Like, mine does not look like anyone else's. Period. Like, it doesn't look like anyone else's. It's different. I changed my icons. I can change what they look like, what color they're based on, everything. I can make my own widgets. I can do whatever I want.
So is that a LG or
No, this is a OnePlus 7 Pro, which a lot of people don't know about, but
who makes that?
OnePlus.
Oh, so that's the actual.
That's the brand, yeah.
OnePlus.
And then the number right now is 7. It's the first time I ever got one. They're really popular like overseas.
Mm-hmm.
But they're known for having top-notch specs at a lower price. So like this can do basically everything the most powerful Samsung can, but I paid like $400 less.
Yeah, these phones are expensive.
Yes. The fact that when we started saying, when the word lease started getting attached to these things,
Yeah.
that's when shit got crazy.
Yes.
You know, because I remember back then it would be, you go to AT&T and you extend your service for 2 years and then you pay $200 and the phone is yours.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's the other way around. Now you got to pay full price for 24 months or whatever it is.
Yep.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But
in my opinion, if you're happy, you're happy.
that's true. We could talk about technology in another episode.
Absolutely.
I think we're gonna cut it right here.
Cool.
Again, I had a great time. This was fun. Anything else? Any last words you want to say?
I gotta say, again, I think you found something. Another thing that you are probably gonna be very good at. There's a certain, I feel relaxed with you. I don't feel like this is welcome to the blah blah blah. It doesn't feel fake or weird.
The midnight queue.
Right. In my opinion, 12 o'clock. No, I stick by my opinion. You have a very natural knack for this, and I think you're going to get better.
I appreciate that, man.
I really want to come here because this is exciting, and yeah, I really want to see how much better you're going to get. Definitely.
Yeah, man. This is gonna be a work in progress. Again, practice makes perfect, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. So I'd like to thank everybody who listened in tonight. I'm Miguel. This is Loredan Krug. Definitely look him up. He's a teacher. If you need any information anywhere, they can reach you.
Yes. You can reach me at loredankrug@gmail.com. LOREDANKRUG@gmail.com. Hit the like button.
All right, guys. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. And thank you for listening.